I have an idea. Let's skip all of research, all of talking to people, all the deconstructing, taking measurements. And no, seriously, this is a real thing. I have an idea. Let's just skip all that front matter, and can I just try it and then see if I nail it? It was like the fastest episode we've ever done. I just think I know how to do this. It's pretty easy. Hey everyone, I'm Claire. I'm in the BA Test Kitchen, and today I'm making gourmet ruffles. I think potato chips are truly one of the most satisfying foods in the world, ever. But ruffles I find particularly appealing. Ruffles potato chips are a ridged potato chip, this wavy pattern. Ruffles have ridges, as the catchphrase says. They're just extremely crisp and very light also. Just all that texture from the ridges and the crispiness is like this. These are an extremely satisfying thing to eat. Also, Gabby told me that this is her secret favorite snack in the whole world, so I want Gabby to come try them with me. Gabriella. Oh, I just got a smell from the bag.
Like crack. They have crack. That's what it is. It's like crack for your brain.
I think crack is crack for your brain.
Yeah.
So this is sour cream and onion.
Here we go. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
You can't go wrong. I know you're gonna nail this one so well.
Thanks, Gabby.
I know.
All dressed flavor. Number one flavor in Canada? What does all dressed mean? Salty, savory, and sweet at the same time.
Never been to Canada.
Oh my God, they smell amazing.
Good.
Oh,
Ooh, vinegar or something.
it's like vinegar barbecue.
Okay.
These are so good.
I just made up my whole afternoon.
Oh,
Just like,
this might be the greatest potato chip I've ever had.
I was just in Canada, I ate a lot of this.
I'm sorry, I lived in Canada for 1 year. How did I not know about this? I didn't really go out much. It's very cold. I feel ill right now from eating these, but they're so good. This is seriously the best thing I've ever eaten. They're so good. Double crunch? What does that mean? They already made them gourmet. Wow, zesty cheddar. So full. Not my favorite, this flavor. I think the cheese flavor is so overwhelming. I don't feel great now. I just ate a lot of potato chips in a very short period of time. They're so good.
And when you're going through this, are you thinking to yourself, how is a ruffle not a Pringle? Or how is it?
I think that's an interesting question because Pringle was a potato crisp, not a potato chip. So it was like potato composite. This, I think, is actual potato.
Am I meant to believe this is a slice of a potato?
I believe you are.
What's the quintessential?
I think original or sour cream and onion.
Sour cream and onion's really good.
So we could do what I did for, at least in terms of flavoring, what I did for Pringles, which is like make the base chip, then have the different powder coatings. So I'd love to attempt this somehow because it can't be that hard. It's like powdered distilled white vinegar plus chili powder plus sugar, to get that barbecue flavor.
Right.
I think the smartest thing, I just want to focus on getting, in this case, 100% of this challenge is, 95% of this challenge is texture. So I want to focus first and foremost on achieving a crispy, light chip, barely golden, not brown. And then once I achieve that, I can think about flavoring them because the flavoring happens after they're cooked. I think this one's cut and dry. We might have something before the end of the day, and by the way, it's 3 p.m. I'm trying it as a new strategy. Radical confidence. See what happens. There's no point in measuring individual chips because they're all different sizes. What it indicates is that they're all sliced from different sized potatoes, so they're actually made from potatoes, I think. Although in general, this feels like maybe a good average size. It's a little tiny bit brown around the edge, but in general, it's a very uniform, kind of yellowish color. I just want to measure the ridges. What was that thing in school where you had measuring wavelengths? And it was like, this is the wavelength, like the length of the wave, right? And then there's a word for what this is. So this is the wavelength, this is the crest, this is the amplitude. There we go. That's a word. This is the crest. This is the trough. This is the wavelength. I can't believe how much gourmet makes me think about my high school science classes. One wavelength is 4 millimeters. Okay, the amplitude is 1 millimeter. Sorry. The whole chip is really, absurdly thin. If you think about it, this is the worst ruler. I can't see anything. It's really only like a millimeter thick. So just extremely, extremely thin. So because it puffs in the oil. So if it's 1 millimeter thick after frying, it has to be even less than that before it goes into the oil. And it's just going to be very hard, not only to get it that thin, but to get it even, to have the ridges be even all the way across. I need like laser cut potato chips. Do they have that? Get me a laser. Oh yeah, my favorite part, reading the ingredients. This is a real different ingredient list than like Hot Pockets. Potatoes, vegetable oil, sunflower, corn, and oil, close parentheses, and salt. Pretty brief. I appreciate the purity of the product. I love this Gourmet Makes more and more with every minute. Did I read that one? To be clear, that was the ingredient list for original Ruffles. This is the tout garni. The ingredients here are potatoes, vegetable oil, sunflower, corn, and or canola oil, all dressed seasoning, parentheses, maltodextrin, brackets, made from corn, sugar, sodium diacetate, salt, dextrose, torula yeast, monosodium glutamate, spices, sodium acetate, garlic powder, onion powder, sunflower oil, malic acid, paprika extract, and natural flavors. I felt better about this before. I'm particularly put off by sodium diacetate and also torula yeast, which I've never heard of. But the point is, at their base level, Ruffles are potato, salt, and oil. I feel good about that. Time to go over to the computer to do some research. What are these called? Ruffles potato chips. Wait, the product is named as an analogy to the ruffle, a strip of fabric sometimes gathered, creating folds. Thanks for that really helpful definition of what a ruffle is. Let's look up all dressed. It's a potato chip flavor popular in Canada. The flavor combines the potato chip flavors of barbecue, ketchup, sour cream and onion, and salt and vinegar. Fascinating. What a great idea. Brilliant. How for your living makes potato chips. Feels like a jackpot.
We make about 150 million pounds a year.
Wow.
We make Lay's, Ruffles, Fritos.
I'm sorry, 150 million pounds a year? That's so many potatoes. Okay, so we saw that. There's actually a lot here, but I don't see anything in particular about ridged. So this is a how it's made video. Wait, so that's another important point. The reason why potato chips out of a bag are not brown is because all of the starch is washed off. It's the sugars and starches that start to brown in the oil when they're fried. So in every case that we've seen of a video in a factory, the potatoes are washed. So all the starches are rinsed off the surface, and that's why they fry very pale and they don't get really brown. I don't think there's a really complicated code to crack here. It's just like making some potato chips, which is great. What a refreshing change for Gourmet Makes. What I'm really interested in is getting our hands on a crinkle slicer. And I think the biggest challenge will be to get even slices that are the thickness that I want, which is to say very, very thin. The videos that we watched confirmed what I kind of knew going in, which is that there's just a few steps when it comes to making potato chips. Basically, it's slicing, rinsing, cooking / frying, and then seasoning. So in potato land, there's two main types of potatoes. There's waxy potatoes and starchy potatoes. These are Yukon Golds, a waxy variety, and then Idaho or Russets, a starchy variety. The waxier ones tend to be like a little slicker and have It's really, it went all the way under. Where did it go? Oh wait, I can get it. I'm afraid to reach my hand under here. I got it. Ooh, who knows what's been under that oven. All right, I gotta get rid of this. It's amazing. Just standing here holding a potato. So I'll probably do some side by side. While we're waiting for the slicer, I'm just gonna peel one of each and get it in some water. Potato browns very quickly when you peel it, but if you hold it in water, it stops the browning process. And maybe I'll get some oil going on the stove and just bring it up to temp. This is just vegetable oil. Potatoes are peeled. Oil is almost at 360. Gabby has our much needed tool.
Yes, here you go.
Very exciting, thank you.
Yes.
So this is a mandolin. This thing has got a lot of moving parts.
It's a Cadillac of a mandolin. Yeah.
But the whole point is that this has a blade that snaps in that makes ridges. This is a crinkle cutter. So it's like when you make Have you ever seen like the carrots on the platter that have the little ridges in it, or like the stir fry? It is a wider, overall bigger wavelength than the Ruffles. Mandolin actually scares me a little bit. My idea is to slice a flat surface so that I can basically have it hit up against the side. Let me try a little thicker. All right, so I got a slice. It's pretty even. It's also pretty thick. Let me see if I go faster, if it gets a little bit thinner. Not what I was hoping for. That was Yukon Gold. I got basically 2 semi-usable slices. Let me try. Geez, slippery. Let me try the russet. I need a sharper blade. Oh, like that one's not bad. Oh God, my oil got pretty hot. Worse. I'll let that cool down. All right, I think I should just go over to the fryer and start just doing some test batches. Just gonna start kind of piece by piece. That's the Yukon, and the other ones are russet. The oil's pretty hot. It's 390. I'm just gonna season with a little bit of salt, and I want to bring them back over to taste. Ooh. Not crisp at all. Ooh, also kind of flabby, crisp. Taste this one. Wow. Okay, in terms of the thickness, it's really actually not bad. I think they look very close in thickness. I'm getting some of that caramelized flavor from the browning starches, and I don't want that. I don't want that kind of toasty quality. I want just sort of blank fried potato. Overall, it's not bad. How could bad could it be? It's fried potato with salt. I think I'm going to fall back on this article I remember reading on the Serious Eats website a long time ago by Ken G. Lopez, all about this topic, about trying to not get color on your potato chips when you fry them. He's saying that in all of his tests, just rinsing the slices weren't enough to remove all the starches, that the potato cells really hold on to the starch. So he boils the slices in vinegar-spiked boiling water, then he drains and fries them. So that's what we want to try. And so he's also using russet potatoes, and I found that those are easier to slice anyway, so I'm happy to stick with those. This is distilled white vinegar. I got 1 so far. It's not bad. It's very unclear what's happening from slice to slice that's making some work and some not work. They look very translucent. So I'm going to cook them a little bit longer. Hopefully they get crisp all the way through, even though I know I shouldn't say it. Feeling pretty confident. It's doing what I expected. That's the confidence booster, is when the thing turns out the way I think and hope it's going to turn out. I wasn't timing it, but that was maybe 2 minutes or so in the oil. First of all, they are almost entirely translucent, which is a little bit weird. They kind of remind me of like shrimp, those like shrimp crackers. They just seem like they fried up thinner than the last batch. So it was very effective in terms of preventing color. Very crisp. It's interesting because they're so thin, it almost immediately dissolves and all you kind of taste is like oil. You don't even get a lot of potato. It's like you're eating air. So I think that this method is really effective, but now it means I have to slice the potatoes thicker. But I think this is a very productive line of inquiry. And I think I'm gonna nail it tomorrow. The one and only time I think I ever finished in 2 days was, I think, Oreos. This would even be 1.5 days because I started yesterday in the afternoon. I'm ready to set a record. Oh yeah, Pop Rocks was 2 days, but that was more just like we ended because I gave up. My one question though, and I wish Brad were here, but Brad's on vacation. Can I sharpen this blade at all? I'm just concerned that it's tearing up the flesh of the potato as I slice and just making it really hard to get a precise cut and an even thickness. So we have this mandolin with the crinkle cutter blade.
Have you used one of those like since culinary school? Remember when you did
Yeah,
like the waffle?
right. Yes, exactly. No. The answer is no.
No.
So I'm wondering if there is a way to sharpen.
Maybe, a Dremel tool. Like, remember, didn't you guys use one once?
I don't know what that is.
With a little,
It's a Dremel. Is that a made-up word? That doesn't sound real.
you need like the little ceramic
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, but
like
that sounds
almost like,
good.
It's almost like a dental thing, but like for like not teeth.
Sounds great. There's a hardware store on Chamber Street. Maybe we should call them.
Yes,
Maybe they have
a
something.
Dremel tool.
Okay.
I will
worked great.
say, like, nothing against like Oxo's mandolin here, because it seems like they really like went for it and everything. But like the one you get at school, you know, like that like crazy steel like French mandolin.
Yeah.
Like the waffler is definitely sharp, robust.
Really?
Oh yeah.
But
This
the
is
crinkle
like,
cut, because crinkle cutters are pretty dull. But I am remembering culinary school where we did the waffle cut
Yeah.
fries or chips, and yes, seemed sharper. Can I borrow your goggles?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. To make flying
This
pieces
is
of
definitely
metal.
a job for the old safety goggles.
Yeah.
All
All right.
I can't wait. New
Okay.
day, sun's out.
Thanks, Chris. Who needs Brad?
Chips. Who needs Brad?
I can do this myself
Brad
with your
here.
help. Yeah. Hi, I have a question. Do you sell Dremel rotary tools?
Yeah, we have some Dremel rotary tools.
Great. And do you sell the grinding stone accessories as well?
Yes, we have like a whole kit.
Oh, perfect. Okay, thanks very much. I have a new plan, but it's really two plans in case one of them fails. One idea is to do what Chris said. Well, both really are Chris's ideas. One is get the Dremel tool, the rotary tool, to try to sharpen this ourselves, which is because that seems like not something I would be very good at. We're going to hedge our bets and also get that mandolin that Chris is talking about that we both used in culinary school, which is kind of a professional model you don't see a lot. So we're going to run out and get that too. That comes with many different blades, including a little ruffled crinkle cutter. We're basically spending more in one day than we have in the entire season of Gourmet Makes combined on these two items. But I think it's a good plan. Amazing timing. That was so fast. Thanks, Tyree. Hey, Chris.
See
Yep.
what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
that guy.
Yep.
Zzz, right? Just the tip.
Yep.
You know?
Let's open it up and see.
Yes.
Okay.
You have a vice.
It's perfect.
Right? Isn't it? Are you feeling that?
Perfect.
I think that's it.
Really? That's it?
I mean, if you have to read the instructions, then it's too complicated.
Totally. Oh my god. Ah. Wait, Chris, I think it is working. Feel that and then
Oh,
feel
yeah.
next to it.
I feel
That's
like
thinner.
You've removed the metal.
Yes.
For sure.
Okay, this is really not that hard. How much pressure do you think I have to apply?
It might be more than you think.
Because I'm not applying any.
Right.
Just like touching
I
into
would
it.
get in there.
Oh god,
Like,
okay.
like, we might need to see some sparks.
I really don't like the noise. I hate this noise. It's horrible. This noise. But Chris, feel this.
Oh God, yeah. You're throwing metal. That's like.
Am I breathing it in? Do we have a bandana? All right, let's try it. It feels definitely sharper. So let me rinse this off and give it a little wash, and then I'm gonna try slicing some potatoes on it. Not bad. All right, these are definitely coming out better than yesterday. Now I'm getting sort of 3 good to every 1 bad. All right, these all look really good. I have maybe a dozen or a dozen and a half usable slices here. Before I make any more, I want to boil and fry them so I can kind of gauge thickness. In addition to this, I want to try the other mandolin that just got here so I can see about overall sharpness and size of the ridges, because obviously the ridges that I'm making are bigger and wider than the ridges on Ruffles. All right, here are my chips. They are almost translucent. They basically become kind of see-through. And what's good is you can see lots of air bubbles in there, which means they're very crisp, but I think they're also a bit too delicate. I mean, it's pretty crispy. This is about the same as what I was getting last night after that last test where I boiled them. Kind of want to try the other mandolin just to see if I get ridges like this that are just tighter. So we have this other mandolin as a second option. And this, ooh, okay, and another tool. So interesting. So this is, wow. This is like a crinkle cutter knife, which I am kind of into because I think I could really control the thickness. So this blade is a little bit more of a zigzag rather than a even wave, but I sort of feel like the ruffles are more of a zigzag. I don't know what I'm expecting as far as results. Ooh, this is maybe harder than I thought. I think the shape of the ridges is nice, but this is going to be very challenging to cut parallel. I didn't really line it up very well, which is why I have like an accordion, basically. So let me just try a few more. No. All right, I'm not playing with this anymore. So let's see what this guy looks like. Oh yeah, look at that cutter. Hello. It's like maybe this is what they use to make ruffles. It practically fits on there. All right, this is the style of mandolin that, like as Chris said, I used in culinary school and he used also. And this is pretty sharp. This is a pretty sharp edge. It's like it was fun sharpening that thing, but I think we got it. I just want to see how it cuts, how easily it cuts, what kind of thickness I'm getting. The main issue I'm having with this mandolin is I like having that runway to really make sure I'm applying even pressure before I get to the blade and kind of like luge down the surface. So, and here I don't really have an ability to do that because of this. Maybe I can adjust it a little better. I don't know if that was, oh my God, no, hold on, I just did something so dangerous. I took this piece off and wondered to myself, what was this doing there? And realized it was covering up these things. So I suppose that was there for a reason. Mandolins are feared in the kitchen, I think, and for good reason. You can really, really do some damage with a mandolin. But like anything, it just takes a little bit of practice and common sense. Okay, so I just adjusted it to try to make it a little bit thicker. I think, so I'm going to start with a straight cut. All right, these look really, really good. The thickness is great of these. They're really even. The ridges look great. I have three main variables that I've identified so far. 1, the thickness of the potato slice. 2, the length of time that I boil. And 3, the oil temp. So I want to do a couple of tests where I play around with each of those variables and see what yields the best results. And the first test is going to be boiling 2 minutes and then into 320 oil. And then I'll make adjustments for the further tests if I need to. Okay, these are coming out. They're not as translucent as before. They're not quite as opaque as the original. The ridge size, I think, looks great. Very spot on. The translucency really comes from just the amount of air that's in there. And I think that maybe that's still from boiling too much. These taste really good. Maybe a gourmet ruffle is a lighter, more translucent, more delicate potato chip. I want to try another test where I boil them for 1 minute and see how that affects the texture overall. Ah, no. I'll save it. This, to me, looks more opaque than the previous versions. I think it actually could be a tiny bit thicker. And I think that the 1 minute plunge into the boiling water was a good adjustment. And I think 325 is a good temperature because I'm getting a minimal amount of color, but not too much browning. I think the ridges are really good. There's kind of a ring just inside the edge of the chip, and there's kind of the same thing happening here. You can see that. That's a good sign. I think that was a really good test. I'm getting a little bit closer incrementally. I think for the very first time ever, I'm actually changing one variable at a time. Just going to do the same test, 1 minute blanch into the 325 oil, and I'm hoping that's going to be the sweet spot. Oh, Dan. Okay. So actually, these were in the fryer for 3 minutes total. Crispy. Wow. I think these are very successful. Good color, great texture, crisp all the way through. A nice, pretty even golden color. So good. Delicious. I'm just gonna make more. So at this stage, I'm blanching in batches, so I'm just gonna throw in a couple handfuls. This is insane, but I might trim off that flat side just so that they look a little bit more regular in terms of shape. So while I focus on the next step, which is making the powders to flavor them, I want to put these in the oven that I set to dehydrate to really dry out and make sure they stay really crispy. I'm putting them in a lower temperature so that they don't burn, because we all know what happened on Doritos. It's very upsetting. Did they get too dark, do you think? I checked on them 1 minute ago and they were fine. Oh no. I'm not remaking them. This is going so well. Something had to happen. I'm not going to make the mistake I made before and burn them at the last minute. While the chips are dehydrating, I'm going to focus on the powders so I can create a couple different flavors of chips. Thank you. So I was thinking that the flavors will be sour cream and onion, plain of course, and then all dressed, which was such a discovery and a very craveable flavor. I'm going to start with sour cream and onion. So we have some dried chives. We also have powdered sour cream, which is a very cool ingredient. Some onion powder. This flavor is good to go. Salt and vinegar is really just vinegar powder. The salt's already on there. Next is all dressed. So I'm doing a combination of smoked paprika and sweet paprika, some garlic powder, some chili powder, and ground mustard. A pinch of cayenne just for a tiny bit of heat, and also some black pepper. This flavor is also sweet, so I want to add some powdered sugar because it's finer than white sugar. Now I'm adding a little bit of tomato powder. I'm going to add some of my sour cream and onion, some of the distilled white vinegar powder. My goal with the all dressed seasoning is to nail it. I want to try to exactly replicate or get as close as I can to the original because I truly don't think that can be improved. I think that's good. Just for ease of sprinkling, I put just the plain white vinegar powder in its own container. And now I have my 3 flavors: sour cream and onion, all dressed, and salt and vinegar. And now I want to check on the chips. Hopefully they haven't burnt to a crisp, just the crisp part. I mean, feel pretty crispy. Very crispy. I feel good. I think I'm ready to coat them. I think I'll use a little sieve to dust them. So this is sour cream and onion. And now, I think salt and vinegar. And now the rest of these will be all dressed. I think I'm done. What else is there to do besides taste? I almost feel bad that that I didn't work harder. It just wasn't that hard. It's just a potato chip. I guess I shouldn't feel bad. They look very similar to the original.
Are you proud of these?
I'm very proud of them. I'm proud of them, but I would have been more proud if I had worked harder. It's kind of like easy come, easy go, you know? But I did make a lot. This is a record in terms of yield for a gourmet makes. I think to make a potato chip more complicated than it is a mistake. So I think if this was I think I troubleshot this one appropriately and put in the correct amount of effort. The all dressed, theirs is better. What is your favorite flavor of potato chip?
Sour cream and onion.
Okay, I think you should try one of these then.
Which are?
Sour cream and onion.
Those are delicious.
There's
It's
3
a
ingredients.
perfect food.
Potato, salt, and oil.
Is this the flavor I'm thinking of?
All dressed?
Yes.
Yep.
And I'm all dressed for you. Look, these shorts.
These are sour cream and
wish you
onion.
can
Do you want to
smell
try
it.
This is your favorite flavor.
Yes.
I want you to try that one. I picked that one for you.
I'm gonna go. whole thing. I usually go like ladylike.
Yeah.
Ghost, I'm like, where'd you get a ghost?
Oh my god. It tastes the same.
Sour cream and onion.
Even better.
Oh, Andy, you don't have to smell it. Just
Come
eat
on.
a potato
I
chip.
won't pull it, Chris.
All right, Chris.
Oh my god,
The
Claire.
crunching sound is making me feel good. This is salt and vinegar.
You can make a little bit, like a mini taco. Okay, I'm going in.
Good job with the barbecue.
Actually, it's all dressed, which is very barbecue forward. But it's a combination of all the
Canadian
flavors.
flavor. Did you knew it? I didn't.
These are great.
The shape is so perfect. It's really perfect. Yeah.
All I just use is potato.
This is a 100% nail.
Thank you.
100%.
Always what I want to hear.
But better because it's fresh and yum. Oh, I like that one.
That one's a winner. I think out of every single gourmet makes that I've done, this has been the easiest. I guess, said another way, it's been the smallest amount of trial and error. It was like right off the bat, I made something reasonably close, and it was just lots of really minute tweaks, and that was it. Oh, I don't want a challenge for the next one. Let's just do more like this. I'm perfectly fine. We can all be here half the amount of time it normally takes. Is it better to not work that hard and not be that satisfied, or to work really hard and be exhausted and somewhat more satisfied? I don't know. Basically, there's no way to win on this show. Here's how you make gourmet ruffles. Peel several large russet potatoes and store submerged in a bowl of room temperature water. Fit a mandolin with a crinkle cutter blade and adjust the thickness to a couple of millimeters. Shave off a thin lengthwise piece from one side of the potato to make a flat cut side. Upend the potato, press the cut side against the side of the mandolin, and rapidly glide the potato across the blade, aligning it each time to make even ruffled slices. Store the slices in water as you work. Working in batches, cook the slices in rapidly boiling water for 1 minute. Transfer to a towel-lined baking sheet with a spider. Pat dry, cut around the edges with the scissors to round off the flat side, then fry in 325-degree Fahrenheit vegetable oil for 3 minutes until golden around the edges and crispy. Transfer to a paper towel-lined tray and season generously with kosher salt. Place on a rack and dehydrate until completely crisp. For the sour cream and onion flavor, combine sour cream powder, onion powder, and milled dried chives to taste. For the salt and vinegar, just use distilled white vinegar powder. For all dressed, combine sweet paprika, smoked paprika, chili powder, ground mustard, cayenne, onion powder, black pepper, tomato powder, powdered white vinegar, powdered sugar, and the sour cream and onion mix to taste. Dust the chips generously on both sides with the flavored powder of choice. Those
This
are
was
good.
an easy one, right?
Yeah, it was easy.
Yeah. It's nice. She got a break.
Next time, give me a challenge.
Yeah. Oh, she
heard it
was
here.
for challenge.
You heard it
No.
Wait, what's the next one?
What's
what's the-
next?
Oh my god, it's gonna be impossible.
Are you gonna mix them with Coca-Cola?
Yes.
Yay!
Also, I love.
My mom.
Yeah, let's go.